I'm in Kapolei, Hawaii, and I wanted to make this kind of a special broadcast. I'm at home, and I think, first of all, I should say to everyone around the world that Merry Christmas. I hope you had a Merry Christmas, a good Christmas, and that your 2023 will be even better than your 2022. I hope you had a great year this year, and I hope that it's even going to be better next year. And of course, that goes for me too. So I hope you enjoy listening today. I'm actually going to talk about the past year for me, the changes that have taken place, and also, the future, 2023, the resolutions that I have, and I hope you enjoy the background. This is actually my living room, but I have a desk waiting for me, a studio desk, and I haven't quite. I'm definitely going to get it, but I haven't decided whether I'm going to do the videos from that desk or whether I'm going to just keep it like it is because this is really who I am. It's a very relaxing, comfortable place. And as you can see, it's very me. And as soon as I put it into a desk environment, like an office environment, it's going to have a different feel to it. It may look a little more professional, but actually, I'm not trying to be professional. I'm just trying to be me and communicate with you, my friends around the world. And so I hope you don't mind that it's a little bit comfortable. I took away the Christmas tree this morning, repacked it, all the decorations up, because before this was decorated with Christmas things. And I had a great Christmas, but now it's all packed away for next year. And the unfortunately, I don't have a way to kind of zoom around with the camera and show you the setting, but you can kind of get an idea from the background. And I want to set it up where I'm actually coming and I'm talking to my friends around the world just as much as I want, because I don't want to travel anymore, and I really don't want to write letters and emails. I don't want to do that. I don't want to send SMSs. I don't want to even make phone calls. I just want to talk to people. And then in the future, I'm pretty sure I can get two-way communication going somehow with different people. But it's all set up. I've got the camera, I've got the microphones, the good quality microphones. I have the lighting all set. Uh, I've got the desk if I want to use it. I have the internet connection, which is good. Whereas before I was having to use like a bad internet connection. So the quality was really bad. The only thing I might do is I might upgrade to a faster speed the software for this video podcast because it allows you to do it in a higher resolution. Right now, this is a lower resolution, and also it allows you to use more send it to more channels that I have. For example, Twitter and Instagram, I could send it there, and I could even set up other channels. So those would be all positive things. But before we start, let me just kind of give you a little bit about the background and share with you. I hope you don't mind, and I hope you're enjoying. I can actually see if anybody's online, but this video will actually be saved to my Facebook and my YouTube, so people will be able to look at it later, and that'd be fine too. But if someone's on live and you make a comment, I believe it will show up and I can see your comment. I'm not exactly sure about that, but because this is all kind of new to me doing the podcast, but I do believe it's a movement in the right direction, and it's very easy for me to do. So that's all great. But I wanted to show you a little bit the background. I've got, you can't see the rest of the house. I have a beautiful apartment, but I have paintings on the walls here that are Hawaiian based. And then I have let me just kind of look around that you can see. I've got a beautiful, I forgot what kind of sofa they call that. Oh, futon. It folds down so it can become a bed, and make it more comfortable and have guests. I've got the ukulele case right there that a friend in Danny gave me in Hong Kong, communist Hong Kong. And I'm going to put a nice ukulele in there, because the ukulele you see up there is just for cosmetic purposes. It's really not one that you want to play. It's like made of plastic. And then I have the seashells there. I actually do wear that hat sometimes because it's very sunny here. So, you put on a nice hat and go out, it's a very nice hat. And then I needed something for this wall here because it's made of stone. I'm not sure what they call that kind of brick, but you can't like put a nail in it. So I needed to put it where I could fix it to the wall and it wasn't heavy. So I got that, and I thought that looks pretty nice. You can get it in different colors. It's not expensive at all, $10 US. It's a beach mat, and it's got the turtles on it. It's got Hawaii right there. So that was easy to do. And then this is a lamp. They call it Tiffany style. It's actually made of glass. It's not plastic. It's very well made. Someone gave it to me. They found it in the garbage just near my house, and the person gave it to me. I had the lamp base, but all he had was the Tiffany lamp shade, which is a very, very nice one. And it might be a Tiffany lamp, a real Tiffany lamp. I have no way to really know. All I know is it's very well made, and I'm very happy to have it. So there's a Tiffany lamp. And then I've got this at Christmas. This is for when people come over, and it has 6 games on it, different games, chess, checkers, but, backgammon. There's 6 games in there. So, some people really like to play those kind of games. I'm not one of those, but it's easy to get out and set it up and go for it. And then I have on my bookshelf over there, I have hundreds of books, and I love to read. But I've kind of given up on reading now. I read about one book every maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But I used to read one book a day. Now I got them at the library, because the library and they're really great books. They're books that I'm really interested in. And they have all these books that they just give away because they're changing books around, something like that. And they just, they call it Friends of the Library, and then you make a small donation. You take as many books as you want. And up on the top shelf, I have all kinds of DVDs, including my family DVDs, and I've got movies. Great, I really enjoy it. Right here, you can't really see it, but right there is my window facing out. I see a blue sky, clouds, palm trees right in front of me. And then if I look out a little further in the distance, I can see the air base over there, which is a pretty good distance away. But you can see the airplanes take off, the military airplanes. You can't really hear them. And and I have air conditioning here. So anytime I'm hot, I just turn on the aircon. So, and I have beautiful rocking chairs here. I got 2 rocking chairs. So I've made it really comfortable in that. I got to get that direction over there. Anyway, over there is the kitchen area and the dining area. So life is good. Now, this chair is special because all my life I've wanted what they call a lazy boy. They're very comfortable. You can lean back, you can put your feet up, and you can lean back. You can watch TV, you can watch movies, you can go to sleep in them. All kinds of really great things you can do. And some things we won't even talk about, but they're very comfortable. And so I got one. And so life is good. Now, in 2022, all of us here, we all have our own lives. We have our own things that are happening in our lives. And, I know that if I spoke to people, I try to draw out the good things that happened in their life as opposed to hearing negative things. But some people, that's kind of their nature. They like to just share negative things. So I'd like to keep it very focused on the positive. And you do have to deal with negative issues. That negative things happen, bad things happen to people, and that doesn't mean you ignore them. But at this time, I'm just going to share the good things that happened. Okay, for 2022, there's been a lot of changes for me personally. this year. Last Christmas, I moved to an area. I went from Hong Kong, I call it communist Hong Kong, uh, to back to the U.S. because of two reasons. Um, One is I was very controlled there, and I didn't like that. And secondly, which I won't go into detail, but I was controlled. And the second one was it became dangerous there for me because I was speaking what I thought was the right things, both as a pastor and you know personally. And that's in under communism, you don't speak out things that are not in line with the communist viewpoint. So uh, it was just became too dangerous. So I moved, and um, I came here, and I wanted to work with. I've always liked working with the indigenous people. That means the people who are the local people. Wherever I've gone, I've always done it that way, and I've enjoyed it. And it's kind of like how I'm able to do things in a way that sets me apart, because not very many people do that. So I went to the area where the Hawaiians live, and the Hawaiians are definitely the minority in Hawaii now because all the foreign people moved here, and the U.S. people moved here over the course of 120 years, say. And so what I did was I worked with them, and they in that particular area, it's a very tough area. I live there. I wanted to actually live the way they were living. They live on the beach. They live in tents, a lot of them, and then their standard of living is low compared to other um, locations on this island, and the children have uh, unique challenges. They're discriminated against somewhat, even though they're Hawaiian or they're mixed race. Filipino Hawaiian, uh, Chinese Hawaiian. There's a lot of Asian people or dark skinned people here particularly on this island. This is known as Oahu, where Honolulu is located. But I wanted to work with those people because they were suffering, and I wanted to just try to bring them some joy and help them the best I could, including the children. So I moved to that area, and I chose to live there, and it was not easy, very tough. But I was the people who I had a good rep. I developed a good reputation there because I worked with the people at their level. I didn't come in and I didn't say, "Oh, I'm something special. I'm going to help you." No, it wasn't like that at all. And I fed them the best I could. I gave them things that they needed to survive, and including their children. So I had a good reputation, but not everybody knows you. It's an area where a lot of people live, and not everybody knows you. So that was the dangerous part. And then you had high crime rate, you had drugs, uh, you had domestic abuse. Those are probably the three major areas. Alcoholism, I didn't see all that much. It was more drugs. And because I was living there, it put me at risk. And I chose to do that. So I did the work there for a period of time. And then I decided, and I kind of felt it was right to move to a different location, not only for my happiness, but also for my own safety, which I did. I decided to stay on this side of the island. It's called the West Side, which is where that area is. But where I live now is a much nicer area. It's very well developed. The homes are very nice here, expensive. It's called the second city of Oahu. Honolulu's the first, Kapolei is the second. Everything is developed here, the shopping, the restaurants. Crime is almost non-existent, very low here. So I felt that was right. And then I could go back to that area where I was working for the past year, and I could help the people, which I did. But it was a tough time. It took really miracles for me to do everything, to get in that area, to live there, to be accepted, to survive, because Hawaii is a very expensive place. But it all worked out, and that's all the good news. And then when I moved here again, I had to get a place that I really loved in a great location, a beautiful I had to be able to furnish it, which I was able to do totally with everything that I wanted and desired. And that was a wonderful blessing. I had my daughter with me at that during that period of time for most of it, and it was really a great time. So that worked out well. That's all the good news. It's something I could not have predicted a year ago because I was celebrating Christmas in that area where it was really tough. It's called Waianae. And at night, they shoot fireworks off 24 hours a day, like crazy loud fireworks. That's kind of their culture. Here, they don't really do it. And so, totally unexpected. I moved, I got set up, and just getting the movers to move me here, that took a miracle because it's very expensive on this island to hire movers to move all your furniture. At that time, I didn't have much. I had to buy a lot of new furniture or get it somehow. And the movers came to me, and they had met me at a church and at a different part of the island. And they said, we're going to do it for you and not charge you. So I was like shocked. And sure enough, on that day, they came with me, they put everything in the truck and they moved it here. They moved, I didn't have to do anything except kind of watch what they were doing. And then I helped them out financially as I was able because they did something so special for me. And and they were interesting. They were Filipino immigrants. They had moved here from the Philippines some time ago, and they were living here on this island. So that was a real shocking blessing for me. And those are all really great things. And then, I've been doing a lot of work with Hong Kong people. My 80% of my time is spent working for the Hong Kong people. People say, well, what are you doing? You're not even in Hong Kong. I said earlier why I had to move from Hong Kong, communist Hong Kong. But now I'm doing, I spend a lot of my time doing research, talking about it, posting on the social media, doing videos. I've got a small group of people who have immigrated here from Hong Kong. They fled and they're set up here now. And so we're working very hard on getting that all set up that we can bring other people. Very tough, but we've got about 95% of it set up. The 5% is the hard part, and that's what we're working on now. And so 80% of my time is spent still trying to help Hong Kong. And, when you consider I spent something like between 28 and 30 years in Hong Kong, I did a lot of traveling around the world, but that was my base, and including family. That was, that only makes sense to me. You just don't ignore what you know. I spent more than half my life in Hong Kong or in communist China. So I haven't removed that from my life, even though it was a really tough time there with all the things that happened in the last 5 or 6 years, which was on the national, international TV, all the people taking to the streets and trying to overthrow the government. Basically, that's what was happening. Kick out the communist government. So what I did was when I came back, I had to almost start over again. But I knew what I wanted to do years ago, but it all had to get put in place. So those are 80% of my time is still spent on Hong Kong. 10% of my time or 5% of my time is spent on Hawaii. That means I go down, I help the people where I went before, which I said that was the tough area, crime, drugs, domestic abuse, children that don't have toys. And I do that once a week, but I also live in that. I'm surrounded a little bit by it. So, but I don't do more simply because my time is spent on Hong Kong. And also even my friendships here. My friends here are immigrants from Hong Kong who fled Hong Kong. And I go at times to a Hong Kong-based church where they speak Cantonese and Mandarin. Mostly, it's kind of and English. They kind of go between the three because of Taiwan. They have people there from Taiwan. So that's how I spend that time. And then I spend about 10% of my time just, taking care of myself personally, doing the things I need to do to, grocery shopping and having medical appointments and going on trips around the island on things that I want to do. But that's how I'm set up. So 2022 was really a lot of changes in my life, but very positive changes because Hong Kong was living in a very tiny place. Um, and the pressures there were very unique, but I wouldn't say it was negative totally. I would say there was mostly positive, but there were also things that were very, very uh, tough. Like you go to the hospital, it's not like going to the hospital in the U.S., for example. It's really, or the doctor in the U.S., it's really a different way of doing things. So, uh, all very positive movement forward in the right direction. Um, like I said earlier, there were times that I had it tough during the past year, but we're not going to really focus on that. It wasn't terrible. It just, I had to work through it, and then it turned out positive. So those are all really great things. And we're at the time of the year where and then I got a couple animals for the house. So I got my, if I say his name, he's right there. Dog. But his name is not that. Okay, he's right there. If I say his name, he'll jump up here. So maybe that wouldn't be too bad. You could then see. And then we have two cats in the rooms over there, and they kind of roam around a bit, and everybody gets along. So those are positive things. Um, and 2023, it's kind of the end of the year where people start thinking about, resolutions, how things went. I would encourage everybody to come up with the positive that happened to you this year, at least one. No matter how tough it was, come up with one. But you might have many, many, like I have. And then in 2023, resolutions means things you want to see better and improved and, off the scale kind of joyful. Um, I have those that I'm planning on because you can't really predict what the future will bring. All you can do is come up with ideas and say, let's go in that direction. And, there might be changes, but, that's where you start out. And so I'm looking forward to 2023. I have a couple things in mind. Number one, I've got the video set up and I want to do that just on a regular basis, and, it's so easy for me to do it on different topics. And I kind of know how to bring in guests. I've got guests that I can bring in who will also talk. So we have like two people or maybe three people on the screen here, and then we can have different topics we can talk about. And, that's a resolution I have. About 2 years ago, I lost weight. I'm not obese, but I'm definitely overweight, and I'm always having great medical care in 2022. That's another very positive thing. I can get unlimited medical care. That is great. My blood pressure is really good. It's like normal. My cholesterol is normal because they gave me some medication that lowered all that. And now I'm working hard. I lost 20 pounds a few years ago, and I know how to do it. But, one thing that I have here is I have all kinds of great food that I want. I can get as much of it and as great tasting as I want. And I love to cook. Right there is my kitchen. So, that's kind of a negative thing. So I thought, well, I'm not going to give up eating great food that I like. Uh, but what I am going to do is I'm going to be just a little bit more careful, but not too much. But I'm going to add in the exercise part to drop the weight again because I'd love to drop 20 to 30 pounds again. Uh, and I know I can do it in 6 months. And so I have some goals, resolutions. I joined a health club. I haven't officially joined it, but I have the permission to. The government's going to pay for it. So I've got or I should say my health insurance provider is going to pay for it. So I'm going to go over there next week and look at it. It's a full setup. I've got it all set for the health club. I've got extra money for healthy food. I can buy all kinds of good healthy food. Um, and so that will immediately start to make a difference. 3 times a week, either walk or run over to the health club, work out for an hour, and then come back. Okay. So that, and then that will make a huge difference, and I'll start to feel fit. Now, one thing that I saw in 2022, which is a positive thing, is I saw the marathon, the Honolulu Marathon, and I'd never seen one before. And I kind of got there from the middle of it to the end when the people were crossing the finish line, and there were people who were really out of shape that were crossing the finish line. They were walking, but they weren't. They were able to finish, and I thought, that would be a good goal. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do this because this is a big commitment, but I thought, next December, I could sign up for that marathon, because anyone can sign up. You don't have to have a prior qualification. And I'm pretty sure, based on who I saw finish, I saw 9-year-old kids finish. I saw 75-year-old men finish. I saw people who are fat finish. And I thought, I bet you I could do that. But I'd have to get into that training routine, where I go to the gym and I feel fitter and my muscles are being built up. And then also, one concern I have are my knees, because my knees do bother me. I think it had to do from playing sports, tennis all my life, but they're not terrible. But I know from before, when I worked out 2 years ago, my knees pain disappeared. So I'm going to give that a try to see how that all works out, and then do the marathon. Maybe next December, you get a medal, and you wear that marathon shirt, and just it's 24 miles, even if I walk it, and it takes 10 hours. Okay, but I can't imagine walking for 10 hours. But I saw lots of people do it, and so that'd be kind of a fun thing to do, and it would contribute to my getting in better healthy condition. So that's a resolution. Let's see what else. I want to get it set up where people from Hong Kong who are fleeing or want to flee can come to Hawaii. We've got a team that wants the same thing as I want, and there are just a few bugs to work out, mainly the housing situation for people when they come, but everything else is pretty much set up, and they can even apply for refugee status. We know all how to do that, and we have the paperwork. But I want to really see that take place, because so many people that I have friends that are in Hong Kong, their future is not great, and they're suffering a lot. They're either suffering, or they say, no, I'm doing okay. But in my viewpoint, the future is not going to be great. Therefore, either financially or how they have to live, what they have, because it's a communist place. So, I really want to see that develop in this year. We've talked about doing some protests where we go out with a banner that says "Free Hong Kong," revolution of our times. I have that banner all set, and we go out on the street in the downtown area, and these are Hong Kong people, and I'm one too. And we hold that sign up, and then people are getting more educated, and hopefully there'll be people that will join in to support, because we have a lot of Taiwan people here, and they are not supportive of communist China. And we also have Hong Kong people. So we do have some from China who fled, but some didn't flee. They're just trying to, make more money. So I want to see that would be a good resolution, I would say, for the future. Let me think what else. I've got a plan to do. I went to a special language school with the government called Defense Language Institute. If you've been following along on my website, I post on that pretty often. And that was back in 1976. So I still have a relationship with them. I went there a couple of years ago with my daughter, did a tour around, and got to know the Alumni Association, and I would love to see us do meetings here once every month or once every 2 months, where we bring in the people who are the linguists for the government, because it's all kinds of languages, either retired, active duty, or they served at some point in time. And we have a meeting where we just get to know each other, and then we talk about how we can help each other, or maybe yeah, I think those would all be positive things. Wouldn't be tough to do. We have to get the word out among the intelligence community, because most people who went to that school are either law enforcement or intelligence community. And I have a few contacts in that community here, but there's a lot of them. So I think it'd be great to develop that. And I sent out an email this morning to the Alumni Association, the head of it, who I know, and I said, let's see if we can make that work. So that would be a very positive thing, I would say. I've got a few. Again, we're talking about resolutions. In the past year, about a year ago, I did quite a lot of media about Hong Kong and China, communist China, with a Polish television station, which I'm still associated with, but I haven't done it for the last year because mainly I've been busy. I've been moving and getting set up here, and we're still in close contact. And I would like to continue to speak out about, but they have now a whole team of people who are speaking about Hong Kong. Before it was just me, and but now there's a group, there's a few other people, and I'm happy to see that. So, but I still have things that I want to talk about, and so I would like to see that continue on. Yeah, those are resolutions. Let me think. Family resolutions, personal resolutions. Just try to make my family's life better, especially my children as they've grown up, and if they have an opportunity to want to come here to live, help them out. But those are positive things, I would say. I had spoken in the past about doing I can take free university courses here, but I'm pretty busy, and I also want to relax. I'm not interested in just working flat out, like 16 to 18-hour days like I did all my life. And I just want to relax, enjoy my life in Hawaii. But that's also a door, that I could have open. I like to cook. Would I be willing to do a cooking course to learn just some, like I'd love to do Thai cooking, for example, or even Chinese cooking. But I lived in Hong Kong. That's my favorite food, Cantonese cooking, which is Southern China cooking. But I didn't, because it was so easy for me to get in communist Hong Kong. I just go out my door. I never really learned to prepare it. I just ate it at restaurants or when I went to people's house. But I can cook all kinds of other foods, European foods, but I would like to do. I like Thai food too, so that would be a challenge. I can't really find the cooking course. I'm looking now, and if it's part of the university, I get to go for free. Because of my age, I'm 65, and they treat seniors here really well. So any senior can sign up for university courses for free. You don't get the credit, but you can go attend the course as long as the professor agrees. Yeah, those would be resolutions, I would say, for 2023. And the reality is you don't really know how long you're going to live. I'm 66 and I'm 65 and a half years old. I know lots of people who've died around that age, 65 to 70. But as long as I'm healthy, and I am healthy, I feel like I'm 18. And I feel physically, I feel okay too. And I know that if I just do a little workout, I'm going to feel great. But things happen. People get ill. You do what you can do to make your life great while you're enjoying it. Another resolution I have is to prepare my end of life affairs in order. at 65 and a half, I need to do that, because when I grew up, my parents didn't do hardly anything when they passed away. My father did a little bit, but it didn't turn out real well. So what I would say is I'm actually going to do that in the next 2 months, put things in boxes for my kids. This is one child's box, this is the other child's box, and then put some notes in there and have some family historical information, also my own personal things that I'm happy to have to share with them. And so those are things that I'm going to do, and then set aside some finances, that I have a little bit, to try to make it so it's possible to help them out. And they're fine. They're well taken care of. So I'm not worried about that. But on the other hand, I want them to have their own life, not be dependent on other people or be called upon to help other people when they don't really have the ability to do it well. So I that's a resolution, I would say. Life in Hawaii is great. It's not for everybody. Some people love it and some don't. And some people kind of live a dream about Hawaii. They think, oh, they see it on TV, and it's very close to that, I could say, but it's not like as shown on TV. But for me, it's really great. I love it here. I love the people. The people are very friendly. I love the weather. I love the environment, the beautiful environment, the ocean. Those are all great things. The food here is great. There's all kinds of different foods that you can get. So, who could complain about that? And so basically, I wanted to just share with you the positive that happened in 2022, some of it, and the resolutions for 2023. I think I did a pretty good job. And if you feel that you want to, have contact with me, feel free. I'm doing the best I can to get the word out, because it's nice to share my life with people and to be a friendly. I'm not the kind of person who says my life has to become your life. No, that's not. You have your own life. You have your own desires. But if you like me and you kind of say, oh, we like his personality, or we know him well, or we like him, we're friends with him. That's the best I can do, tell you all the things that are going on. And thank you for everything. And I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. I'm glad that I could do this, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to make a comment as to whether you like the background, tell me you do, because I'm also going to get this office set up, which is also going to be a studio office for video, but it'll be a completely different feel. It'll be like more of a professional feel. Whereas this is a very, informal kind of friendly feel. Let me know. Okay. Take care, everybody. And I very much want to wish you all a great year, no matter where you are, no matter what's happening. I want you to have a great 2023. And I think that would be great. So I got to figure out how to end stream. Okay. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Take care of yourself, everybody, and Happy New Year 2023, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what's going on with your life. I wish you the best, and I'm glad I can share some of my life with you. And if you'd like to see Johnny, I'll let me see if I can get him up here. Johnny, come here. Watch. Come on. There you go. Johnny says goodbye too. Okay. There you go. He doesn't know that there's a camera. So there, he's looking right there. That's Johnny. Okay. Johnny's 2.5 years old. So take care of yourself, everybody. See you later.